This week's parsha is Ki Tetze. There's a lot to say here, but I'm going to restrict myself. As a favor, please take a look at the Rashi on Pasuk Yud Aleph. It's the second Pasuk of this week's parsha. It's a great Rashi. It's nice and short, but I think it teaches a very valuable lesson about how the Torah sees people's Yetzer Hara, or inclination to do things that are not so desirable. And even though it grants us permission to do things, it doesn't necessarily lead us down a path we want to take. That's all for now. Most of what I'm going to be saying really is based on a shir I heard from Rav Bernstein personally 2 years ago. He's been quoted often. Hopefully we've learned to expect great things. So, the mitzvah of ben sorer umoreh, right? Within the first aliyah of this week's parsha, this is a person who doesn't listen to his parents. He eventually steals from them. He gets involved in some bad and expensive habits, and he just his life just takes spirals for the worse. That things don't go well for him. So we actually have a mitzvah to put this person to death before he devolves into too negative a spiral. We see him heading there, so we stop it in his tracks by putting him to death. Hard lesson. So what's this all about? So the Gemara in Sanhedrin actually says that lo haya velo yihiyeh. There never was, nor will there ever be a ben sorer umoreh. There never was. There's never been such a person. But interestingly, the Gemara also says, drosh v'kabel schar, right? Expound this and teach it, and you'll receive a reward for it. You should be teaching more about the ben sorer umoreh. Why? And not only that, but there's another, there's a steer within the Gemara. There's a contradiction in the Gemara, because we have Rabbi Yochanan, prominent Amora, second generation, who sat at the grave of a ben sorer umoreh. So there you go. There's one Gemara that says there never was, nor will there ever be, and Rabbi Yochanan is sitting at the grave of one such ben sorer umoreh. How do you resolve this difficulty? So says the Gemara, it's not a difficulty. Why? I'm not sure if this is actually a Gemara. This is Rav Bernstein. I'm not sure if he's quoting a Gemara or one of the Pirushim, one of the commentaries on the Gemara. Regardless, one is that the Sanhedrin never actually executed someone based on the principle of ben sorer umoreh. No one was ever put to death as a ben sorer umoreh. However, facts of life are there are people who are ben sorer umoreh, right? They are wayward and rebellious sons. They start devolving along a bad path. They don't listen to their parents. They start stealing. They become bandits, and just things go badly. There are people like that, and that's part of the reason why the Gemara talks about it. So expand the precept. That's why drosh v'kabel schar. We want to stop this in its tracks. Speak about this, that hopefully it'll never actually happen, right? Right? Not only never executed by Sanhedrin, but also never actually happen in real life. People who don't get caught by the Sanhedrin, but devolve along such a path anyway. That's one thing to learn. There's another that Rav Bernstein is careful to cite, and there's actually taking a bit of a closer look at the words of ben sorer umoreh. What does sorer come from? From sur, to swerve, right? To swerve off the path. Yeah, that makes sense. He's not doing the best things. He's going off the path. Fine. Umoreh, and he teaches this lifestyle to other people. So at first, he's swerving off the path. He's getting into his negative habits. This is not a good thing. We don't like that. However, eventually, he'll start preaching about swerving. After all, says Rav Bernstein, people don't like to be in the wrong for too long. It bothers him. I don't want to be in the wrong. So I'm going to teach this as a way of life. It's not wrong. It's a way of life. At first, I was a ben sorer, right? I was swerving off the path. Now I'm teaching it. I'm like, this isn't swerving off the path. This is a new path. It's a real, legitimate path. If that's what such a person is going to do. So there's that. But then there's a second thing I want to discuss in this week's parsha, also based on Rav Bernstein, quoting the Al-Shich, just a little bit further on. It's in the second aliyah. And let's go to Chaf Bes, right? That is the 22nd. There you go. Hopefully this helps a bit. The 22nd parak, in the first pasuk. All right, so bear with me. So lotira et shor achicha o et sev nidachem v'italamta mehem hashiv teshivim la'achicha. Right? So we're talking about the mitzvah of hashavat aveda, right? There's a mitzvah of returning a person's lost objects. So there are a few questions that I think the Al-Sheikh asks on this pasuk, and here they are. That the way the pasuk begins is lotira, right? You should not see something, and you should ignore it. Now, why do we need to hear that first? You shouldn't see. If you're ignoring something, it means you see it, and you're choosing not to pay attention to it, right? So why the double, I guess, assertion of sight? Because sometimes the Torah knows what human nature is like, and they know that just because a person, say, identifies with a certain value, right, doesn't mean they're actually going to live it and really internalize it and act on this value. So what does the Torah say? So look, you shouldn't see someone's lost belongings and ignore them. And why v'hitalamta? Because the Torah knows what you're going to do. You're going to ignore it. We know what you're going to do. And that's why it says mehem hashev, right? Teshivem la'achicha. Again, why this double assertion? Return, you shall return. So the way to read it is like this, says the Al-Sheikh. Hashev, you shall return. I'm commanding you to return it. I know you don't want to. You want to ignore it. You identify with the value. Everyone knows how nice it is to return something that was lost. We all recognize the benefit of this, the kindness of such an act. We choose to ignore it. We see something's lost, and we're like, it's not my responsibility. It's not my problem, right? Hashev, you shall return it. And then afterwards it says, Tashivem, you will return it. That's just the way things are going to go. Now, how does that work? Because the Torah starts with giving you a mitzvah, giving you a commandment to get you out of that tendency to ignore positive actions that you know intellectually are a good idea, but practically speaking, hopefully someone else can do it. It's nice, but someone else will do the nice thing, right? So no, commandment, and then after you've built in that commandment, that kindness built in through constant repeated training, then you'll just do it on your own. And we even see that as we go in a couple more psukim, right? You should return it. What's the end result of this repeated training? That afterwards, right, at the beginning, you saw something, you chose to ignore it, you didn't want to, the Torah had to command you to do it. After repeating training, you will do it, and then at the end of the day, lo tuchal lehitalem. You won't even be able to ignore it. You'll see the lost object, and you'll just say, I have to return this. You'll just feel it within you internally, and you'll actually act on that feeling instead of ignoring it. That is Ki Tetze for now. Thank you for tuning in. Shabbat Shalom. See you next week.